Alright guys, what is going on? Oink here. We got some brand new season events, of course. It's Thursday and we have got the 400 performance points Japanese classics. Again, as usual, we'll go through the events one by one and show the requirements. Here is 400 performance points, of course. Tyres are comfort soft. Year is 1979 or earlier, and of course it has to be from Japan. We got Grand Valley East, we got Eiger Nordwand, we got London, Deep Forest Raceway, and finishing off on Mount Aso Tarmac Custom. The prize is the Toyota 7 race car, which is actually crazy good given that this is a standard car. Really difficult to find in the used car dealership, so pretty awesome prize. The car that I've chosen to use is the Fairlady 240ZG from 1971. Only it's a standard car. I don't know that there are any premium cars that can actually qualify for this event. However, this car will be found in the online car dealership as of right now, so pretty easy to get hold of. In terms of settings, make sure you got the best tyres. Then drivetrain I've upgraded fully. Transmission I went with fully custom, but you only need the 6-speed. As long as you have the 6-speed, you'll be fine. And then I've basically bumped it up to 400 performance points. You can see the upgrades I've taken there, so no intake in the sports ECU. And that is basically it. So no tuning, no custom tunes needed for this one. Just upgrade the power and all that stuff, and you should be ready to fly. Start off with Grand Valley then. Now, all of these, I think all of these, except maybe one of them, I took first on lap 4 out of 5. All of the races are 5 laps long. The car handles pretty nicely. You shouldn't really have any trouble, in terms of driving it. It's a little unstable under braking, so if you, brake, if you just slam on the brakes, for a long period of time, it seems like as they get really hot under braking or something, the car starts to lose a lot of grip. So yeah, just watch out on the entry to corners after heavy braking. You might find it oversteers just a little bit, but I mean it's really easy to control the drifts in this car, and it doesn't have so much power that the tyres can't handle the amount of power. So you get a good amount of grip. A little bit of understeer in the more fast-paced corners, but as long as you just brake beforehand, you'll get enough grip on the front tyres to be able to steer your way around and accelerate out the back half of it. I mean, Grand Valley there's lots of long straights, so make sure you're hopping into the slipstreams each time, and that'll get you the best times per lap. But I mean, really shouldn't be a problem on this track. It's very easy to drive. You can see I take first place on lap 4 out of 5 near the start there, and finish the race as you can see there. And we'll move on to Eiger Nordwand. Now, I mean, the track in itself is a little more challenging. Obviously, you need to be prepared for these tight S-bends, these little like chicanes. I don't know. It's kind of like a hairpin chicane. I don't really know. Like a long chicane. I don't know. Whatever. Lots of hairpins, one after the other. Anyway, in the low gears, you'll find that you do oversteer a little bit there. You can see gets a little bit tail happy, and that's as you come down the hill. As the weight sort of falls down the hill, you will find that it just kind of throws to the back, and yeah, you will lose the tail a little bit. But I mean, you can just gun it 100% throttle and counter steer, and you should be able to control it as a drift. It's not really the end of the world. Otherwise, just let the throttle off as you come down the corner, and you should just sort of steer into it nicely, get a good amount of oversteer, and just make the corner just nicely there. Nice passing between those two guys in the corner there. You can actually take that corner fairly fast as long as you turn in early. And then you get this last corner here, which you can actually brake very late for, because it's coming up the hill. You can brake quite late. The hill helps you brake, and you can just end up at the top. And then as long as you cut in and don't clip the fence there, you should be good for the final corner. You can see I take first again, lap 4, about halfway round lap 4. And get the first place, lapping about 118s on that lap, on that race. And we're going to London. Again, London a bit more technical. You got to watch out for the walls, of course. That is the main thing with the city courses. Is just you be really aware that you're not bumping the walls too much. Just stay off them there. Just lift the gas if need be, just to stay within the confines of the track. The AI go particularly slowly through the sort of the 90-degree angle corners here, so you can see I just moved to the side, and that guy just sort of outbrakes himself, like he brakes way early, and I can just sort of brake in and get ahead of him. So make sure you're not right behind the AI into each of the tight corners there. Just sort of go over to the side, and there's plenty of curbing to run over on the insides of those corners, so you can just use that to make your overtakes on those sections. And again, there you can just make sure you cut nicely across and you can go pretty quickly, and then into the slipstream here. The main thing just to watch out for at the end of that straight is to make sure you're braking early enough and you don't go face first into the wall, because you know, it kind of hurts a little bit. Anyway, again, lap 4, end of lap 4 that time, taking first, lapping about 105s. Last lap was a 104, so you can see my total time there. And we will move on to the final of the normal maps here, which is Deep Forest. Now this is kind of opposite to the last few tracks in that you've got loads of runoff here, so you can kind of relax. Again, this is similar to Grand Valley in that respect. You know, you've got plenty of space either side of the track. It's a fairly easy course to drive. The car handles pretty nicely. Again, just make sure you can use the full width of the track, and that will get the best out of this car, because like I said, you can't go full speed around these corners just because it will understeer and it will just push you wide on the exits. So make sure you use the full width of the track here. Again, I mean, you shouldn't have problems overtaking or trying to catch up with the guy in first. The AI again tend to be kind of slow on the exits and things like that. As long as you get a nice run out, you should be able to just sort of slip right past them on the exits of the turns. Yeah, I don't really know, there's not much else to say. The car, by the way, I think is quite cheap, maybe like 30,000. And the cool thing with the cars in the online car dealership is I'm pretty sure they don't need the oil change. I might be wrong about that, but I know that for a fact that they don't need to be run in. So the engine is already run in, even though it's at 0 kilometers, 0 miles, whatever. So that's pretty handy, because it means it doesn't upgrade the power each time, so you don't have to keep going into settings and turning it down after each race as the engine breaks in. So it's awesome. You can just set it up to 400 pp and just run all 5 races in a row. Anyway, here we go. Take first place, lap 4 again, lapping about 135s, 136s, something around that, and we'll finish off the race there to move on to our final race then, which is a Mount Aso, which is like the crazy bumpy track here. Often you get some wacky turns on this one, and today is no different, let me tell you that. You get a little bit of runoff here, which is nice, because you'll actually find the car understeers kind of heavily on these fast sections. Make sure you take the corners just across the apex, otherwise you might find yourself understeering. And actually, if you hit the grass, it can spin you out, so just watch out for that. Anyway, my lap is a bit messy here, but it doesn't really matter. You can keep a good high speed around this course because of the camber on the turns. As you can see, when you come across this one, then you go into this like reverse camber. It kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit sketchy. Anyway, this one you want to really slow down for. It'll throw you wide every single time if you don't get down into third and around that one. And then you get a nice a positive camber there, which will help you out through there. You should be able to keep good speed. And then the final turn, which kind of throws it sideways. I'm pretty sure if you went around that too fast, your car would actually just roll over, so watch out on that one. If you go a bit too fast, it will like bounce you around the corner and maybe spin you out. So just lift off the gas as you come over the top of that hill, and you're basically good to go. It's a good fun track. By the end of it, my laps were suffering. You can see I take first place on lap 4 again. My laps times were suffering at the end because I just started going crazy. Anyway, there you go. There's the seasonals. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.